always been an issue, and living conditions are so crowded that social distancing is impossible. Authorities are using loudspeakers in some parts of the camps to give advice on how to prevent the spread of COVID-19. But humanitarian groups say it's not. The Rohingya Medics Organization warns a coronavirus outbreak in this community could lead to an enormous loss of life. And it's been producing informational videos in the Rohingya language and posting them online. But last September, Bangladesh's government shut down most of the internet and telecommunication networks in and around the camps.
Unfortunately, we don't have access. We are doing our best, and it's really frustrating for us that we are not reaching the target population.
Aid groups and NGOs are urging government officials to reverse their decision.
Immediately went to internet restrictions so that refugees have information and are able to inform themselves about how to mitigate the risk of a coronavirus spread in the camps.
The government hasn't responded to calls to restore the internet, but says all measures it's taken to prevent an outbreak have been necessary.
We have ordered the shutdown of places where people usually gather, including schools, madrasas, learning centers, etc. Only essential commodities will be continued in the camps.
Amnesty International says the lack of internet access in Bangladesh and other parts of the world is making the situation worse.
It's not the best time to have it to shut down the restriction on telecommunication because that's the easiest thing to have. So disseminating information is
Rohingya activists have been holding seminars to educate other refugees about a threat unlike any they've faced before. Having escaped violence, now doing all they can to evade a virus. Mohammed Jamjoon, Al Jazeera.
Something a little different now. Some practical advice if you have to leave the house to go grocery shopping. Dr. Jeffrey Van Lippy, a physician from the United States, has a video on YouTube giving advice on shopping safety. It's already been watched by tens of millions of people around the world.
So I'm going to just dump this bread into this container to seal it off and not allow any sort of contamination in the bag. More hardy plastic things that you're not worried about disinfecting more liberally. You can actually spray the disinfectant right on those items. Now these chips, again, I could dump them into a container, but I'm just going to choose to spray them off. That's okay. Before they go into the pantry. Now, you want to wipe off the areas that you think humans' hands were touching a bit more liberally than the areas that you don't think human hands have touched. That's all common sense stuff.
Tokyo Olympics have been given a new starting date. The opening ceremony will now take place July 23rd, 2021. Games were pushed back a year due to the coronavirus outbreak. A Vincent van Gogh painting has been stolen from a museum in the Netherlands. It's closed at the moment due to the outbreak. Thieves broke open the glass doors of the Soekarno-Hatta Museum near Amsterdam. It's believed the well-called Parsonage Garden at Neunen in spring is worth upwards of $7 million. It is good to have you with us. Hello, Adrian Finnegan here in Doha. The headlines on Al Jazeera. President Donald Trump says the US is now testing more people for coronavirus than any other country. Many state governments say they're still struggling to access enough testing kits to fight the outbreak. Over 160,000 people are infected. Almost 3,000 people have died.
Today we reached a historic milestone in our war against the coronavirus. Over 1 million Americans have now been tested, more than any other country by far, not even close, and tested accurately.
Taken to Zandam's sister ship, the Rotterdam. New York's health system is getting a lifeline via the sea. A US Navy medical ship has arrived to help relieve hospitals, which are quickly filling up. 1,000-bed ship will treat people with non-virus-related ailments. For the third consecutive day, Spain reported deaths in the previous 24 hours. And after 2 days of decline, the number of deaths in Italy has risen again to 812. There is some hope, though, that infection rates are slowing in both countries.
Reflect reality. If we're talking about pure maths, curves usually indicate how severe cases are in a country and they show its ability to control a crisis. But there are other factors too. Governments denying risk, facts suppressed, the lack of access to poor people and limited testing. But be it in the slums, the townships, countries suffering conflicts and those without democracies, what is unknown is whether the outbreak is bigger than politicians are admitting or they're able to handle. Our correspondents in Beijing, Johannesburg and Mexico City report now on the situation across Asia, Latin America and Africa.
Here in Asia, some experts are doubting the low numbers of infections some countries are reporting. Myanmar and Laos have reported fewer than 20 cases each, while Cambodia and Vietnam have confirmed less than 200 respectively. And all these countries border all have close cultural or economic ties with China, the original epicenter of the outbreak. Meanwhile, Indonesia, Thailand and Malaysia have confirmed cases in the thousands. But experts say even these numbers are unrealistically low and not enough testing is being done. And here in China, local transmissions have slowed to a trickle in recent days, casting doubts over the accuracy of government figures, with some saying officials are underreporting, facing pressure for the world's second largest economy to get going again.
The township of Khayelitsha in Cape Town is the first in South Africa to report a case of coronavirus. There are many who are worried that the government will struggle to contain the spread of this disease in high-density areas such as townships and informal settlements. If that happens, it's likely to overwhelm the already strained public health system. Millions of people in these townships and informal settlements live in cramped conditions. They live in shacks where there's limited access to water and sanitation. Entire families often live in 1 or 2 room structures where social distancing is not an option. Now, South Africa has reported its first case of the coronavirus about 4 weeks ago. Now there are more than 1,200 cases. The government has been transparent when informing the public of the number of cases or spreading awareness, but people are still worried it won't manage to control an outbreak in high-density areas.
Across Latin America, several countries have been criticized for taking a more relaxed approach when it comes to containment of COVID-19. A few countries come to mind. Here in Mexico, for example, authorities only recently began recommending that people stay home and self-quarantine. The same is true in Brazil. President Jair Bolsonaro of Brazil is one of the most reluctant world leaders in terms of implementing stricter efforts. He's even criticized governors of states in Brazil for adopting more aggressive policies. Another country that comes to mind is Nicaragua, a country where you can still go outside and watch a football game. The policy there from authorities has been little more than burying their heads in the sand. So apart from the lack of preparedness for a contagion of this size and a certain lackadaisical attitude from several world leaders, there are concerns that Latin America as a region is a ticking time bomb for contagion. Manuel Rapalo for Inside Story.
Okay, let's get going today. Joining us from Johannesburg is Mark Haywood. He's a human rights activist and editor of the Daily Maverick's Maverick Citizen section. From New Delhi, we have Aaron Kumar, an economist and professor at the Institute of Social Sciences, analyst and documentary filmmaker. Gentlemen, welcome to you all. Mark in Johannesburg, coming to you first. In amongst all of the death, in amongst all of the illness, is there another casualty, and it's the truth of what is actually happening out there?
Well, I think in South Africa, at this moment at least, the South African government is being very honest and doing its best to keep the public informed.
Joburg and Delhi hope well for you. Does that all serve to undercut a starting point of trust?
That is very true. The story from Delhi and from South Africa, they're slightly the same with what we have, but our situation is much worse than South Africa. For instance, we've only had 194 tests, and 7 people have tested positive, and 1 person died.
And the citizens have been asking for the government to do more tests in order to get a clear and better picture of how far this infection is going in our society. And the story from Delhi is also similar to Zimbabwe because the president ordered a lockdown, but we don't have a safety net for our citizens. 90% of our potential workforce. And the fear, like in Delhi, is also that those people that have gone to the rural areas are going to infect the people in the rural areas, and then we start seeing the pandemic becoming much, much bigger than what we would like.
Mark Haywood in Johannesburg, where you are, is the default knee-jerk reaction on the part of the government and the health ministries, or the health officials, is the default setting complete transparency, or we need to manage the situation and perhaps massage the figures or keep them slightly off the radar?
Well, I do think, and it's probably very different in Zimbabwe and India, but at this stage, at least the default position is complete transparency. I can't fault our government at this stage. The problem is very similar to India in the sense that we're not testing the people who are most at risk. This epidemic started with travelers but has now moved into our communities, and the effect of the lockdown is precisely what has been described in Zimbabwe and India, which is that many thousands of people have left the cities to go back to provinces that were relatively unaffected. A few days ago, the numbers were much smaller, but people have gone back to their homes.
Corruption levels have been very high. The public, I think, does not quite believe, that the government would be able to deliver. And that's why, as soon as the lockdown was announced, people started rushing back to their villages rather than staying back in the cities. As is the case in South Africa, the living conditions of vast majority are rather poor. 4 to 5 people crowded into one room. Lack of clean drinking water and clean water to wash hands. Not enough soap, etc., no income to buy food, etc. All those problems are very severe. And that's why, even though the government has announced that they'll provide food to people wherever they are, people are still trying to rush back to their villages. They've got a lot of fear in their mind. Now, the economic panel that was formed, that has not yet given its report. But what has been done is that one, announcement has been made for the concessions to be given to the poor people, to the unorganized sector. But that is rather tiny in comparison to the losses that have already been suffered. It's about 0.85% of the GDP, which is very small compared to the losses that the poor people have already suffered. And there also the problem is that many people believe that delivering is not going to be easy, especially to the people in the unorganized sector who have migrated from rural to urban areas. There's a large amount of migration every year from rural to urban areas and back to the rural areas.
Yeah, but Aaron, just allow me to interrupt you for 30 seconds. Please keep your answer brief because we're running towards the end of the programme. According to Johns Hopkins, the website, the trusted website, as of now, in about 1.3 billion people, there have been 29 deaths so far. If it looks too good to be true, it generally is too good.
The real worry is that in the next 10 days, it might explode, and that's why the government ordered the lockdown. The worry was that it should not be allowed to explode. We are able to manage to keep it down, but the government will get a lot of credit for this, for ordering it down early.
Well, in Harare, coming back to you, the starting point for the fight against coronavirus in your country was pretty difficult anyway. 12% of the population are HIV positive. 7 million people, that's half the population, are classified by the United Nations as basically living in poverty anyway. So when it comes to those people looking at the government and saying, yes, the government can look after us properly, what's their reaction to that?
It's a total disaster in Zimbabwe because 1.4 million people are living with HIV positive. We have people who are elderly, we have high blood pressure, some are asthmatic, and as we all know, 5% of the total number that gets infected is going to need special care